Sea of Thieves. We're doing a sailing guide. This is going over the basics and the essentials for sailing and having a successful sort of voyage. So first off, you're going to want to obviously get your boat, get on your pirate ship. There's different kinds, and you can customize them too, based on your gold and everything like that you collect over time. And you want to pick one based on your party size too. Like if you have a small group of friends, you don't need a big boat. So you can just directly sort of jump onto your ship. You can cannonball onto a ship, or do some other magical way to get on. If you're in the water, you can just climb up with the ladders. That's an easy way to get on it. To start, I'll go over the general look of the ship. The first thing you want to do is raise the anchor, which we're already beginning to do. The more people you have, the faster the anchor will raise, obviously, and eventually it'll just get up. So when you do want to put the anchor back down, you can really put it down at any point. It's not going to make too much of a difference. You can just going full speed, it's not a problem. Just drop that down. So here's the main level of the ship. As you can see, you've got your cannons, anchor's usually in the middle. You've got the front. You can kind of get a view. I like having a guy here because they can look out, but alternatively, you can have someone at the crow's nest up there. They climb up and they can see further and everything like that. But this is a good spot to have somebody just kind of looking, and then they can also get to the cannonballs really quick if you have a battle coming. So the next step of your kind of journey would be to check the map to see where you're going. So this is the second level below. Our guys are already sailing away. Hopefully this still kind of looks right. So you have your map here. You can zoom in and out, so you can kind of get a quick view, see where you're going, get all the names of everything like that, and get an idea of the direction and the scale, and see the numbers and the letters at the top there. You can compare that to your actual map that you have of a particular island of where you're supposed to go and find stuff and loot and treasure. And you can also get a dynamic look at what they're doing at any point too, while somebody else is looking at the map. So obviously you need to repair your ship, but we're going over sailing. Here's the bottom area. You can have somebody locked up there. I find it's a good idea when you're, kind of getting an idea of how to sail, that you go over all the basics of the ship too and actually understand the whole location. There's for drinks, obviously. Because, if you're going to be sailing, you need to understand the ship. So obviously, different ships, different sizes, and different kinds of masts. So the more masts you have down, the faster your ship will go. You'll see a sort of wind when you're correctly really moving along here, and that is a good idea to follow that. So you actually get the maximum amount of speed and everything like that. So obviously, we're going to set the sail here. So you can adjust how far down the sails go. Right there, see? I didn't want to block the guys off, what he's doing, just in case he had something set up particularly. And you're going to get more speed with the more sails you have down, and the faster you'll go, right? Obviously. So with the smaller ships, you have less sails that you can put down. And I would suggest, if you are doing an intense battle with someone, because different situations will need different, obviously, positions and speed. If you're doing a quick battle around an island where you want to go slow, keep them up and just kind of slowly move around. But if you're trying to get out of a situation, you obviously want those down right away, and you want to go, 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 right? And you want to watch for the wind so you get the optimal kind of speed going on. And yeah, so that's a big part of it. It depends on what you're doing. Everything down if you're trying to get somewhere fast. If you're just going for a casual sail, just be nice and easy with it. You definitely do need a squad. You could do this by yourself. I don't really have too many issues with it when I do attempt to sail by myself. But obviously having multiple people kind of chatting works a lot better. So here is the actual wheel. The wheel determines where you're going. On the right you have a compass so that you can get the direction of where your ship is supposed to go. Obviously that will match the map that you are using. One full rotation kind of puts the rudder hard left or right, and it takes 2 rotations on the galleon. You'll hear an audio prompt when the rudder is straight. Another key point. What? Yeah, I see your map. So you can kind of get a key point here with the gold piece there. That's just an idea of where you're... Yeah, I'm not right now, man. Not right now. And you can see eventually that it will lock. You don't want to overcompensate, and it depends on how much you're trying to move in either direction. I think I'm making this guy angry. I don't know what he wants. He wants me to go look at his map. There you go. So you get an idea for the wheel and where you're supposed to go. Obviously, you should be matching your wheel with the compass depending on the direction you're going. He's actually heading somewhere, but this is a serious matter, so I'm just going to let him go ahead and do that. But you get an idea of the wheel and the movement. So you're going to want to stay away from storms because they'll take a big toll on your ship. If you're going at night, you can use actually the stars to a degree to help you navigate as well. There is a North Star. Oh, here's the plank. But I mean, there's a lot to watch for. You got to see where the wind's going and kind of how that will affect your ship. Because obviously, if you go with the wind, you're going to go faster. And again, matching that with the situation, do you want to go fast? Do you want to go slow? Are you battling people? Are you just sailing along, going quickly? So position-wise, I find it's really good to have, obviously, somebody manning this area, but this guy can switch between that and going down and checking the actual map, which is what this guy is doing right now. Because it's not a big deal if your ship's moving, there's lots of ocean, and you're very unlikely to smash into something unless you're trying to do it on purpose. The ships do handle very slowly, but I mean, it's a ship, right? So you've got to kind of tweak the wheel a bit and not overcompensate or anything, because you'll be like, oh, okay, it's going really well now, and the ship's moving left or right, but then you're going way too much over and you're completely off course. So you got to line it up, pick your position, and just kind of sail forward instead of side to side. I like to have, again, one guy up there and then one person at the front, because they can look and they can kind of tell you what's happening. And they can also move over to the cannonballs quickly. If you need the better view, the crow's nest obviously is a good perspective. And it's nice to have just kind of a person playing music. I don't know, it's nice. Keeps it calming. You can also have somebody that's sort of just on the map. Remember, you've got a squad, right? So use them to your advantage. But when you're using this, using the wheel, and you have the mast all the way down, you can't actually see the front of the ship. As I'm going to try to do that. Hopefully it doesn't anger that guy too much. But as you can see, from the wheel perspective, that the view is blocked for the most part. You get a left and right a bit, but you don't actually get a full open view of what you're doing. So it's good to have somebody that can say, hey, there's a rock right here, or so forth, or, oh, we're coming up on it. It's just very helpful for successful navigation when you're sailing. I think this basically covers all the essentials of sailing and getting your ship going. But to repeat things, you start by raising the anchor, or lowering the anchor if you're trying to, kind of stop. Then you adjust your sails, or pick where you're going first. Depends. Maybe you already know where you're going. So raise the anchor. Check the map, pick a spot. You've probably already picked it because you're in a town, gathering new maps. Get on the ship, adjust the sails depending on how fast or how far it is and what you're trying to do and achieve, and then get somebody, helming the ship and moving the wheel around based on that position. And you can ring the bell. But see, you get a good view up here too. It's just kind of like a peaceful game that you're just sailing around in and viewing things. And yeah, it's always a good idea to... Oh, jeez. Okay. Follow the winds. Don't jump off of your ship. And you'll have a successful time sailing in Sea of Thieves. And obviously when you get to a place, you'll get like a pop-up that tells you what's happening. And yeah, that covers all the basics. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to help. But yeah, that's sailing.